morning thought. Where I've been getting a lot of these is right here where I chant in my altar. There's this daily wisdom, which is from the writings of Nichiren Daishonin and in English and Japanese. Very cool, huh? And so, for instance, today is February 17th somewhere. Maybe here, maybe not. I think it is here. But anyway, this is, so I just read some of these. And these are just my Nichiren quotes. But, what it does say here, this is interesting, bodhisattvas. I'm a bodhisattva, you're a bodhisattva, we're all bodhisattvas. Bodhisattva, bodhisattva, we took the vow to come back here and lead others towards enlightenment. We did. We could have gone on. We didn't have to do that. We rose our hands, said, hey, here I am. I'm coming back there. I'm not going to go to nirvana. So Bodhisattva Superior Practices received the water of the wisdom of the mystic law from the Thus Come One Shakyamuni and causes it to flow into the wasteland of the people's lives in the evil world of the latter age. Now, this is the latter age. There was a middle age, and you can go to kosarufu.com, and it's defined there clearly. Just go up there and do a search. But this is the function of wisdom. Shakyamuni Buddha transferred the teaching to Bodhisattva Superior Practices, and now Nichiren propagates it in Japan. Now, Nichiren, I think, well, you know what? I got it written right here. So when those, we're talking about the Bodhisattva here, superior practices, who rises up from the earth. And there was 4 of them. And this is coming from, this is from chapter 22 of the Mission and Vow of the Bodhisattvas of the Earth, from the Kosen Rufu and World Peace, part 3, written by Ikeda Sensei. So anyway, what we got here, he says here, President Ikeda discusses the virtues of the 4 leaders of the Bodhisattvas of the earth as they relate to our lives, because 4 of them rose here. And I'm just going to cap on some of these, but Mr. Toda, our second president, the one who was imprisoned for his for not taking the Shinto faith over our faith, and so he went with the first president, President Magaguchi, who died in prison, and President Toda, that's where he really got his Lotus Sutra on. He chanted to understand it, and he read it over and over and over, and he came out with some great wisdom, which he spread, and because of him, and third president, who I'm reading from right now, Ikeda Sensei, he spread it to U.S., and so that's how we just keep this thing going, you see. And it's really, and this is the later age. This is the later age. This is the mud. This is that time. That's why that comes up in the mud. So the 4 bodhisattvas who appear in the earth, which I would just say that. Okay. Oh yeah. So Mr. Toda used to say that we Soka Gakkai members who are striving to achieve Kosen Rufu are the bodhisattvas of the earth. And that being the case, we are certain to be able to lead the kind of life we desire. So what is the 4 bodhisattvas who appear in the Lotus Sutra as the leaders of the Bodhisattva of the Earth movement? They are superior practices, boundless practices, pure practices, and firmly establishing practices. Okay, so what do these say here? Sensei writes that while this can be discussed from various perspectives, the record of the orally transmitted teachings, that's one of the letters that are real long writings of the Daishonin. The Daishonin touches on the one aspect in relation to the 4 elements of earth, water, fire, and wind. So that's the 4 that we call bodhisattva. They're fire, earth, wind, and fire. And Sensei explains here that all the activities of the universe, that's what they are, earth, water, fire, and wind universe, which are symbolized by the four elements, are essentially the functions of the four bodhisattvas and the compassionate workings of Myoho-Renge-Kyo. So here he writes that the first of the Bodhisattva Superior Practices can be likened to fire. The Daishonin writes, fire is that which burns things. And he says, courageous practitioners of the mystic law burn their earthly desires to produce the light of wisdom, illuminating the world's darkness. That's what we do there. Now, leaders in the realm of the Nichiren Buddhism need to constantly strive to improve themselves. We do. We just don't sit here on our asses. To always take the lead and act with bracing courage. Bodhisattva boundless practice can be likened to wind. The Daishonin writes, wind is that which blows away dust and grime. So that's just as the wind blows unhindered to clear away all dust and grime, practitioners of the mystic law freely carry out their activities, sweeping away all obstacles as if they were no more than dust before the wind. Bodhisattva pure practices can be likened to water. The Daishonin writes, water is that which purifies things. Like flowing water, practitioners of the mystic law always stay pure of heart, never sullied by the muck and mirror of real life in this time, and purify everything around them. Then Bodhisattva firmly established practices, the last of the four, can be likened to the earth. The Daishonin writes, the great earth is that which nourishes plants and trees, like the rich earth that nourishes the many different kinds of plants and trees. Practitioners of the mystic law protect and care for everyone, everyone alike. So Nichiren Daishonin is the Buddha of the latter day of the law. He took on the role of the leader of the bodhisattvas of the earth. Namely Bodhisattva Superior Practices. As long as we dedicate ourselves to realizing Kosen Rufu, spreading of this teaching, striving in our Buddhist practice with the same mind as Nichiren. This is from Writings of Nichiren Daishonin, Volume 1, page 385. The powerful functions of these four bodhisattvas will also appear in our lives. So those four, earth, wind, water, and fire, will appear in our lives as I just defined them. And finally, let's see here. This is what Sensei says to end this. He goes, let's set aside selfishness, be unswayed by others' approval or disapproval, and work tirelessly for people's happiness and a brighter future. That is the way to bring forth inner strength and to obtain Buddhahood. So that's today's in a nutshell. It's a lot there. There's, basically we are the bodhisattvas of the earth. And so as you walk proudly today, remember you are. If you chant Nam-Myoho-Renge-Kyo, you get the protection of those four bodhisattvas. They're on the Gohanzen, if you have a Gohanzen, and you should if you don't. There again, we can help you with that. But Nam-Myoho-Renge-Kyo, Nam-Myoho-Renge-Kyo, Nam-Myoho-Renge-Kyo.